Welcome to New York's Divine Channel. You can have it all. This is an exciting topic, the money magnet, how to improve your money life. It's exciting because in the world of increasing your abundance, increasing your prosperity, making more money in your life, there are a lot of things to take into consideration when you are working at your career, whether you're working as a business owner, whether you are working as a freelancer, self-employed. Uh, there's so many different avenues, or you're taking your money and you're turning your money into more money. You're investing your money. And there's so many different ways that we can invest our money as well. Well, the one thing that's really important for you to know is that if you are in the process as a business owner, let's talk as an entrepreneur right now, because that is what the Lord is putting on my heart, as this is all faith-based training that we offer. And what God is saying through me right now is to let you know some of the secrets to entrepreneurship and increasing your income revenue that they probably don't talk about in most places. So most places that are working on increasing their income think that it's about your sales and marketing style, or the package, the products that you're selling, the packaging that you're selling, or they look at the price point that you're selling it for, the service that you're offering. Are you giving really good services? Are they relevant to current affairs? Are you able to make the product and the service work for this day and age, for what people need? Or is it just something that doesn't really relate to most people? Okay, so a lot of people think that that is where they're going to focus in order to activate their money magnet as a business owner. And I'm going to tell you that that is all important. Yes, it is. It is valuable and it is important to accomplish that. The thing about it is a lot of people have good products and services. They have good branding. Their branding looks beautiful. They're very talented if it's a service-oriented business. Maybe they're a coach or a provider in some sense. And they've got good pricing, good services. They take good care of their clients or their customers, and they've got all that. Yet, some of the people that have all of those things all neat and tidy with a big red bow on top still are not making the money that they want, and others are. So what sets them apart from each other? Let's look at that for a minute. And I'm going to share with you some of the secrets that entrepreneurs and business owners may not be willing to share. And either they don't know that this is what's setting them apart, which I would say they probably do, or they do know, but when they do coaching and training on activating your money magnet, they don't include this in the training. Because I haven't heard these things being taught out there as far as how to improve your income revenue, how to improve your money, to get it higher, to improve your profits. And I'm going to share with you what I believe is the determining factors. And there's 3 determining factors that set you apart from the people who have great products and services to offer with great service, great price point, great branding, everything's beautiful, and people who sell a lot, have a lot of income, and people who don't. People who are able to scale and go to higher levels, and people who don't. I can share this with you because at one time I found myself a decade ago stuck. and not able to break through the glass ceiling. And I work with clients all over the world that are increasing their income and that we're coaching together and taking them to the next level. And so here's the first secret that is not talked about. That will be the determining factor between you being able to break through the glass ceiling in your business and take your income right through the roof, along with your profits right through the roof, and people who are not doing that and are not able to. And that is your threshold of ability to manage stress quotient. Okay, so threshold to manage stress. Now, here's why. Because the bigger the business, the bigger the problems, right? And you have to be able to not only solve the problems, you also have to be able to manage your own mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual being, your body, mind, and spirit. So when a big problem comes, if you let that upset you emotionally or mentally or spiritually, it's going to also affect you physically. And it can physically take you down, make you sick, and not able to function. So therefore, you're not able to show up for what you've committed to show up for, or the way you show up isn't at your best. So when you are showing up, you're kind of half of what you could be or a quarter because you're managing so much and you're not managing the stress well. Therefore, in order to grow your income level, grow your profit, you're going to have to be able to manage your stress and have a threshold for a larger amount of it and be able to diffuse it. So it's your threshold of ability to diffuse stress quotient. You want to raise your quotient higher so that when things happen, you're able to just spin on your heels and handle it, fix it, not take it personally, don't internalize it, and be able to manage maybe several things coming at you at the same time as the CEO of your business. Now, let's change this over to your personal income increasing, but not as an entrepreneur, but as a career person or as a independently wealthy person that's investing your money and has wealth managers to manage your portfolios. Okay. You're not necessarily building your own company, but you're either managing the money you do have or you're creating it from a job with a W-2. You're still managing the money you create with your W-2 or your 1099, whichever way that you have it coming in. Still the same thing. Still have to manage your stress. The more money you make, the bigger the money, the bigger the problems, no matter how it's in your life, whether you are a trust fund baby who was born with it, or whether you are building it from scratch as your own independent business owner. Okay. So what are we going to do about this? How are we going to increase our threshold to manage our stress and diffuse it? Because you have to diffuse it. Just managing it is like, well, it's still all there on the dashboard. And if it's getting bigger because you've got 7 problems to solve at the same time, then if you don't diffuse it and dissolve it, dismantle it, and delete it, then it's going to take you down. So when we can do that quicker and faster, then we're able to climb higher and do more and achieve more and receive more. And the best way to do that is to clear any of the trauma and clear any of the things that you're beating yourself up about. Oftentimes we won't forgive ourselves because we made a mistake and we screwed something up. and we're beating ourselves up and we're giving ourselves guilt trips. And it's one thing after another about how we look at ourselves and view ourselves. And we're all clogged up and clunked up with all that in our head. And we don't have enough energy in our being energetically to be able to fully be present for current reality things, because we're letting our past bog us down and potentially even cause depression, self-judgment. And we have a lack of self-compassion, a lack of forgiveness. And so there's so much already on the dashboard that hasn't been diffused, that when new problems come at us, new things to solve, we're not able to dissolve them because they're in a waiting line. They're standing in line behind your current stuff that hasn't been cleared yet. You haven't cleansed and cleared your energy, cleansed and cleared your slate with yourself, given yourself a clean slate, forgiven yourself, forgiven all other people, forgiven even the people who currently might be causing problems right now. Understanding that you're going to have to make a decision. Are you going to engage with them or not? And be able to then not also worry about the future, because a lot of people are worrying about the future. They've got things coming up. They're worried about, am I going to get the next deal with my business, or am I going to keep my job? It looks like they might be ready to do layoffs. And so we're wondering, how is this going to go in the future? And because we have such a big focus on the future, again, any current problems that come into our vibration or frequency, into our energy circle, into our reality, kind of have to stand in line behind our past and our future. So we're not living in the current moment. So the solution is live in the current moment, clear out the past stuff. Don't worry about the future. Live in the moment. Yes, we plan for the future and we've got our strategic plan and we know what we're working toward, but then be in that moment, because you're going to need to diffuse any stress coming in, and you're going to have a bigger threshold and ability to handle more. And once you scale to the next level, let's say you've doubled your income. Maybe last year you were making $250,000 a year. Now this year you're making $500,000 a year. So that means that there is potentially double the things to solve problem-wise, because we get paid to solve problems in life. That is where the money comes from. So people have problems and they're looking for solutions. And whatever you're doing for a living is part of the system of a solution. At least that's what everybody is hoping that it's going to give them. And that's why they're paying money for it. For example, when you pay for a coach to work with you and you have set the goals that you are working toward, for instance, in my academy, we're working toward developing your gifts and abilities. And let's say you've registered for our Divine Channel NLP life coaching session training, where you become certified as a practitioner in the level 1 training. And you're looking to first heal yourself with the neurolinguistics programming and clear any deep trauma and free yourself from that baggage so that you can live in the current moment and solve problems that come at you with ease, joy, and grace, without it weighing you down and without it shutting you down. Because if it shuts us down, or we freeze ourselves or numb ourselves so that we can't feel the pain, or we don't know how to manage it or deal with it or diffuse it and transmute it and clear it and release it, then we shut down, freeze, and then we can't function. Now we're frozen and not functioning as a result. So what's important is for us to be able to go ahead and solve the problems that we're solving, free and clear of our past problems or our future worries of problems, and be right there in the present moment. All right, so that's number 1 on the level. Are we recording currently? We are right now. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And we are now currently going into number 2 of activating your money magnet. We first did number 1, which is clearing out past traumas so that you can be fully present. And then in number 2, and being able to have a higher threshold of managing stress and diffusing it, clearing it, letting go of it so that you can handle and solve the problems. Because the bigger money, the bigger problems, the bigger business, the bigger problems. And you have to be able to spin on your feet, take care of them, and do it without self-judgment. Okay, number 2 is to completely 100% embrace and know your worth. Because when you completely know your worth, then your business or your career, whatever way that you are functioning in the world to bring in your money, will be able to succeed because you're showing up your full self. You're not showing up an insecure version of you, a version of you where you lack security, you're not able to you don't feel that you can say, yes, I am worth $150,000 a year, for example. Let's say that you are a VP at the bank, at the bank locally, and your salary is $150K a year potentially. And maybe you're having imposter syndrome and you don't really feel that you're worthy and deserving of the $150K a year. Although you have the education level for it, you have the experience level for it, and you have the components that the people are looking for. You dress the part, you look the part, you act the part, and you get the results that they're looking for. So as far as your quarterly reviews with your boss, your quarterly reviews are good. So everybody believes in you except you. So when we're talking about activating your money magnet, we're talking about increasing our income. And when we already don't believe that we're worthy of our current income or our current money situation, we are blocking ourselves from improving it or increasing it, since we don't even believe that we deserve what we have now. So fully stepping into your self-worth and your deserving, and really truly knowing absolutely beyond a shadow of a doubt that you deserve it, becomes that next magic bullet. Okay, so if you've ever had a deep trauma in your life, I work with a lot of people that have been through a lot of crisis in their life and tragedy. I myself went through several of them and had to heal them. I do believe that the journey that I've gone on was important for me to activate my divine calling, which I am doing now with the coaching, the speaking, the TV show, my academy, my agency. And I had to go through a lot in order to get to where I am today. And because of that, I can help others. So look at the things you've gone through, not as a definition of who you are. Don't look back and go, well, I failed in the money world and I went bankrupt and I failed and I, lost my house. And so therefore I'll never be good enough to buy another house and succeed at my income and get my credit score up to a super high credit score and be able to buy new houses, buy new vehicles. In fact, not even need a credit score someday and just pay cash for everything, right? If you let the past of the failures that you have had define your worthiness to be successful in today's day and age in your life, you'll never get there. You instead have to switch this to an understanding that the past failures that you had were just lessons to be learned. That's all they were. It was just a boot camp of training for us, because we all make mistakes, right? All of us do. None of us are perfect. None of us were just born a perfect specimen never to make a mistake. We come here, we incarnate into this world. God puts us here to learn new things. We have our soul lessons to learn. Then we have our soul contracts, which are the things that we have signed up to accomplish to build God's kingdom, to help, to contribute back to the world, to how to improve God's kingdom in the world, right? And our soul missions, our divine calling is how we do it, what we're doing in the world, what difference we're making and how we're doing it. And we cannot say, well, because 20 years ago or 10 years ago or 5 years ago or 2 years ago, we failed in our income making, we got fired from our job, for instance, or, we went bankrupt and lost our credit cards and now we're on cash only. That doesn't mean that you can't succeed wildly and repair all of that, because you learned from that. You learned how to not do it that way. You learned that you cannot spend more money than you have. You learned that you should live within your means. In fact, going on cash isn't a bad thing because it teaches you how to do it. Suddenly you then know, all right, well, this is how much I have, so this is what I'm going to buy this month, and I'll have to wait for that other thing until I have the money for it. So maybe you might end up waiting a few months or a few years, but it's okay. It teaches you how to live within your means. And it doesn't mean you're bad at money. It just means you're learning how to work with it. So if you can shift your perspective to one of, hey, well, I've learned everything to not do in the world of being a money magnet. Now I'm going to do it right. Then now you've got something. So give yourself security of, hey, I'm learning how to do things the right way by having done it the wrong way. And that's a good thing. It really, truly is a good thing, believe it or not. So take that and say, okay, what did I learn so far? And I'd like to give that to you as a transformative initiative, an action step to take away from this video, this TV show that you're watching. So go ahead and make a list of your money story, the things that you have gone through in your life. In fact, start from your childhood of what you learned from your parents or guardians, whoever raised you. I remember being taught that money was bad when I was a child because I had the uncle who came over who had the new fancy Cadillac. And at the time, that brand new version of the Cadillac was $26,000 because I heard that number so many times after he left from family members who I was living with going, if I had that kind of money, I would never spend that on a Cadillac. That's ridiculous. $26,000 for a Cadillac. And there was a lot of bad mouthing going on about the wrong decision that the uncle made to use the money for that. So as a young person, I was being taught that it's shameful to have the car you want and to take the money that you have and be able to buy something you want. So you should settle for something less than what you want, and then you're not shameful. So I had to, at one point, recognize that, probably about a decade ago when I was working on this, that was part of my money story. And as an adult, I realized, that's ridiculous. That isn't true. I mean, you have to take a lot of other things into consideration. And maybe there were a lot of things taken into consideration when that was said. But as a young person, probably, I don't remember the exact age, but, definitely under the age of 18 years old, that's all I heard was that part of the story. And of course, when you're a young one, you don't know all the pieces, the moving pieces to the story, right? So we had to release that as part of my money story. So I want you to think about it for a minute. Have you been shamed into thinking that it's not okay to buy things that you want and that there's something wrong and that you're selfish or whatever, because you are going to allow yourself to buy something that you would enjoy having? Or what was your money story. You might have been raised with a great money story. However, if you're watching this video in order to activate your money magnet, probably not. There's probably a place in that story, whether it was maybe you had a first marriage and now you're divorced, and the person who you were married to shamed you for, wanting to take some money to buy health insurance for yourself. And even the, things that are considered important in America you were treated as if you were overboard for even wanting what's considered a basic essential. And knowing that there's a lot of people, even in America, that don't have insurance, right? So you should be one of those people who doesn't have insurance. And so then you have a hard time saying that you're worthy and deserving because you were told that you weren't worthy. So if you want to activate your money magnet, we are going to have to clear those stories. We need to become aware of them. My favorite tool that works incredibly well is NLP for that, Neuro Linguistics Programming. And we have several courses in our Academy of Divine Rich CEO that you can find on my website, CamilleConti.com, that address that. The first one is Unleash Your Fully Empowered Self and Happy Life. That's the first course. It's the basic course. Then we go to a more advanced course, which is Quantum Leap of Confidence for Love, Health, and Wealth. And in there, we're doing the neurolinguistics programming, the hypnosis, the tapping, in order to clear the stories that affect your money, as well as your love and your health areas. Then once you've achieved that, the next step for those that want to get more advanced and really finish it off is to take the Divine Channel NLP Life Coach Level 1 practitioner, and then level 2 and 3 master teacher and CEO business development. And you can do this work just for yourself to improve yourself and your family members and your friends and your loved ones. You don't have to decide you want to be a practitioner. However, you can, and it pays well. So with that said, that's the advanced. Now, what's higher than that? What would be the next step after that? And I'm gonna make some of you laugh. And that is actually doing it for yourself. Sometimes we get training and we learn so that we can help others, but we don't use it to help ourselves. And so now we get out there, we're doing sessions for others. When you're getting certified in my academy, you have to do sessions on others and have a certain amount of practicum and hand in. So you see them getting better because they've received a session and they've done their action initiatives, their transformative initiatives or their action steps, which AKA for homework. And so they're getting the results. And you're looking at yourself and going, why am I not getting results? Well, ask yourself, did you do the sessions for yourself? Have you received them from other students in the residency course that we have? Or have you recorded them for yourself? Because you can actually do an NLP session by putting it on recording. Once you know how to do it and you've been certified and trained in my academy, then we encourage you, make recordings for yourself, listen to them daily until you clear it. So then what happens is number 3, remember I said I would tell you 3 secrets to activating your money magnet. And we already did 1 and 2. So now we're on to 3. 1 being that you have to give yourself a much higher threshold to transmute and diffuse stress levels, because you're going to have more problems to solve the bigger your money is or the bigger your business is. And so you're going to have to let go of your past trauma and not worry about the future and live in the present moment and handle things in that present moment, not letting baggage of past or future worries or fears block you from just living right now in this moment, so that the problems that you're solving right now are not standing in line behind all the other problems you haven't solved yet. So you got to solve your problems and come to it with a clean slate. And we've got to do that daily, which is step number 3, daily maintenance of self-care. So we might be all good right now. And we're like, yep, I've got a clean slate. I've done all my meditations. I've done all my praying, and I've done all my clearing. And and when we teach NLP and hypnosis in my academy, I teach faith-based. So it's all with prayer. So we are calling in our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ and asking him. God is the only healer. Okay. There's only one healer on this in this world, and that is God. And so we're calling in the divine to do the healing. And then we are rewiring our thought patterns with the NLP and the hypnosis. And we're clearing out all the old garbage programs and patterns that are no longer supporting us, clearing it out. Then we're implanting the new thought patterns and programs. And we do that through prayer with the NLP, hypnosis, EFT. And then once we've done that and we're all good to go, we've got a fresh slate, number 3 comes into play. Daily maintenance of making sure you get your self-care on a regular basis, because although we're good now, life happens. We're living on planet Earth. We're living with other humans. Things are being thrown at us daily. We have problems that we have to solve daily. So we have to be transmuting and clearing out any new stress levels daily. If we let that stress climb up to a certain level, we're back to not being able to manage a good threshold of problem solving activities and do it without stress. So it'll build up again. So we have to be that self-cleaning machine. Don't you love your self-cleaning oven? You know, you can push a button and it'll clean itself. You don't have to. If you've got one of the models that's more modern, if you have a modern oven, you can push a button and it'll clean itself, right? But the old-fashioned ones, you would have to buy the spray foam cleaner and get in there and be scrubbing. And by the time you had all this gross stuff under your nails, it was just a big mess until they came out with the self-cleaning. And then it doesn't build up, because as long as you push that button and have it clean. Now, I want to ask you a question. How many of you have a self-cleaning oven, but you don't even push that button and have it clean itself every once in a while, like once a week or once a month? So you still have a dirty oven, even though it has a button to push, where you have to wait, depending on the oven, 1 or 2 or 3 hours for it to do its thing, right? So that's the self-care that the oven needs. And you have your self-care that you need. So I am here to tell you that if you want to activate your money magnet, you are going to increase your self-care. You're going to increase your healing work. You're going to cleanse and clear out all the thought patterns and programs. And then you're going to maintain doing it on a weekly basis. And if it gets away from you and you suddenly have a whole bunch of things happen, because some weeks we have really busy weeks and a lot of stuff happens and it's like, you have to increase how much self-care you do to clear out the stuff from that week, all the garbage. So you're going to be pushing that button like we do on the self-cleaning oven. And you might have to push that button a few times a week, not just once at the end of the week. You know, everybody says, TGIF, thank God it's Friday. And Friday has been associated with either date night or party night or whatever, where we let our hair down. We forget that we have a job or a business. And some of us forget that we're parents and we go out, we get a babysitter and we go have fun. And it's kind of like a weekend thing for self-care. But some of us need to really focus on more daily self-care, where we pray and meditate daily, praying, talking to God, meditating, listening to God, and then journaling, writing down the messages that we're receiving, asking questions and getting divine guidance, and doing that for our money situation, as well as our love life, our health life, being healthy physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. So number 3 is your daily maintenance protocol. And those are the secrets to activating your money magnet. The more you play, the more you'll make, and the bigger your business will get. I know that sounds crazy, but we call it playing when we do self-care, because self-care can involve things like walking along your favorite lake or beach, picking up seashells, sitting by your favorite tree, going to the spa, getting your maybe your hair done, your nails, maybe having a facial or a massage, maybe doing a spa at home. That's a easier price tag, and depending on where our finances are, getting the $5 bottle of uh, stuff for our feet to massage our feet and put it in the little vibrator. And they have those little at-home spas, and carve out 2 hours for yourself, maybe once a week, where you're going to do your feet in the little massager spa, put your pumice stone on your feet and do some self-care that way, and just let your hair down. Don't think about work. Don't think about anything other than relaxing. And you're going to build up your ability to then have a number one, higher threshold to diffuse stress and manage problems and solve them quickly and spin on your feet. Don't internalize them. Don't take them in. Don't let them bog you down and then stop you from being effective and healthy and successful and being able to do it with ease, joy, and grace. Not scare off your clients, for instance, because you're not doing well emotionally. And so now you're not being able to show up well for them. So if I were to add a bonus onto this list, that would be charge your worth. Ask for the raise that you know that you deserve, or give yourself the raise you know you deserve if you're a business owner. And tell your client, if they're trying to negotiate or lower your fee, tell them, this is my rate. Be willing to walk away if they don't want to pay it. Oftentimes they just are doing that because they want a better price for themselves. Many of them can easily afford to pay you. They just don't want to pay you. And you have to be okay with telling them, this is my rate and this is how I work. By contract only, 1 year membership, for instance, if that's what you're offering for whatever you're selling. If you have something that's a 1 year membership and it costs X amount of dollars, don't let someone tell you, well, I only want a 3-month membership. If that doesn't make sense. If you know that wouldn't even serve the client well, and that it wouldn't be something good for them to invest money into because they're not going to get the outcome, then be unwilling to sell things that won't give them the outcome that they're looking for. Only offer and enroll people into things that will give them the outcome that they're looking for, and tell them, we don't have a package for that. There is no 3-month thing that will get you that. There is a 12-month thing that will, but not a 3-month thing. And don't let people tell you how to do what you do, because if they knew how to do what you do, they would be doing it. And at some point they may be, but right now you have to stand your ground, know your worth, know that you are good at what you do, that you have sensible programs or products, whether you're selling skincare products or vitamins or coffee or baked goods or furniture, clothing, whatever you create and make, candles, soaps, whatever, you have a certain price tag. There's a cost involved with everything. And you have to not only get paid for the cost, but then you have to get paid for your time and the team that you have, if you have a team. And so you can't let people tell you what they're going to pay. You need to tell them, this is the rate, this is the fee, and be good with it. Know that some people are going to walk away and others are going to work with you because you have enough self-confidence to own your worth. And I close with that. Have enough self-confidence to own your worth and your product's worth and your service's worth. And make no apologies for it, knowing that you're giving a really good quality service or a really good quality product. You've already figured out what the fee is based on all of the cost involved, and it is what it is. And you will draw people to you. They will come flooding in because you have confidence and you are secure. In fact, they'll keep buying with you more and more because you project confidence. So the confidence becomes your secret weapon. Your confidence is your magic bullet. And you gain that by practice. You can't gain that by sitting on your couch praying about it and thinking about it. Praying is helpful, but at some point you have to pray like it's all up to God and work like it's all up to you. And then when you're managing your stress levels and you have a higher threshold for it because you're not bogged down by your past, you can make anything happen. You will be unstoppable. And I encourage you to reach out to me if you are looking for what your next step is in your journey of developing your confidence. If you are saying, okay, I've got to talk to Camille. I want to analyze where I'm at, what I don't need and what I do need. I am very happy to tell you what you don't need. By the way, I will never enroll you in something that you don't need. In fact, you'll have clients for life when they can trust you because they know that you're only going to give them or suggest or recommend something to them that they do need to get the outcome or results or benefits that they're looking for. And when they grow to know that you are a good egg, you're fair, you're not going to just sell them something to make money and not care about them getting the outcome, they're going to continue to come to you because if they're getting the results they want and they enjoy working with you, or they like your product, they like buying your product, they like the experience of having it shipped to them, they like the way you package it, or whatever type of thing that you are offering, or even at your job, if they like working with you, if you're a person that's enjoyable to work with, you mean what you say and you say what you mean, you keep your commitments, you say you're going to be here at this time and you're there, you say you're going to get this job done at this time and it's done by this time, because you're not bogged down by a bunch of stuff that has to be cleared. You're able to meet your promises. So again, back to step one, clear any stuff, traumas, past mistakes, forgive yourself so that you can be free. Now, some of you are on this journey right now and you're like, okay, I'm getting better. I'm seeing improvements. And potentially the only thing that you need to do is keep doing it because it needs to be a little bit longer and more of it, and you'll be there. So some of you already know these 3 steps and you've only given it a little bit of time and it just needs maybe double the amount of time. Maybe you're halfway there already. Maybe you're 80% there and you only have a teeny bit more. So with confidence, don't give up. And then you're going to break through. And when you have that breakthrough, your money will start increasing like nobody's business. Your abundance will skyrocket. So if you're ready for a breakthrough, reach out to me. Send me a text message at 716-603-1767. Or you can email me at Camille@CamilleConti.com. And we will book the right kind of an appointment for you that we can get a discovery call and figure out. In fact, I will offer for the first 3 people who reach out to me, we will do a 30-minute free discovery call. And if you text me or you email me, we will go ahead and get to the bottom of it. I'm very fast. Probably within 15 minutes, we will already have it all done. So you will get an additional 15 minutes of the beginning of a treatment already to start solving some of the things and breaking through for you in that 30-minute, believe it or not. I work really fast. I've been doing this a very long time, for a decade. And if you reach out to me, we will figure out what it is that's right for you and what you do need and what you don't need. I look forward to meeting you. I look forward to working more with you for those of you who are already working together. I am so excited for the things that are going on. Club AIG is our newest signature program, Ass and Gear Club, where we do the self-care. So those of you who are thinking, geez, I want to do my self-care, but I need someone to do it with, join us at Club AIG. And it's every Tuesday and Friday morning, yes, at 5 a.m. EST. And we have people tuning in from California, Wyoming that are on Mountain Time and Pacific Time. So if you want to get your ass in gear, you want self-care, you want a supporting community, a community of women who are supporting you on the same type of a journey to the sacred ascension and spiritual enlightenment journey of clearing out past stuff and being able to embrace the current reality of life and do it with ease and joy and grace, then join us. Come join us and learn more about the programming that we have. You can go to my website to learn about some of it. Some of our programs are not on our website because we have some signature courses that are available only to members of our academy. But go ahead and look at CamilleConti.com, and I am excited for you to raise and increase and activate your money magnet, double your money, triple your money, quadruple your money, and keep going more and more. Manage your self-care so that you're balanced and you have a good balance in life, so that you have family time. You have time for your relationship with God, time to really embrace your relationship and connection with the divine, time for yourself so that you have enough time to fill your battery back up, and then time for your family so that you can enjoy the fruits of your labors with the people who you love. And then, of course, time for whatever types of community things that you're doing in the world, whatever type of career or businesses that you own, anything that you've got that's making a difference in the world, that we balance it out. And that is what we do when you work with me in my agency, Camille Conti Agency, or my academy. We create that balance. Confidence with life balance. I look forward to meeting you. I look forward to working with you more. For those of you who are already working with me, I am watching you and I am loving what I'm seeing. We've got so many people climbing higher and faster. It's incredible to watch what you guys are doing. I love you guys. Have an awesome day. Tune in next time to our next TV show, which is next week, Thursday, May 22nd. And the topic is revolutionizing your life with DI, divine intelligence. And I look forward to seeing you then next week at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Have a wonderful day. I look forward to hearing from you. Again, reach out. My phone number is 716-603-1767. Those of you who are watching out of the country, it's in the United States, so put a 1 in front of it. Or send me an email and we will set up a discovery call together. If you're one of the first 3 this week that reaches out to me, you will get a 30-minute one complimentary. And I look forward to making miracles and magic happen, co-creating them with the divine through prayer, meditation, and strategic planning, healing, deep trauma release, and really pulling in our divine intelligence downloads. Have a great day.